Alright, we are back for our Joja run. And today we're actually doing something, well not today, but tomorrow. We're going to do something a little bit different for the bait maker. We're going to try to rush it tomorrow with the mines day. So we're going to rush the 300 wood, coral, and sea urchin to try and make that bait maker happen extra early, to make rainy days more worth it, and to make mountain lake days more worth it as well. So that's kind of the plan for now. Today is a normal day where I will fish, and then I will fish, and then I'll sell some stuff. But overall, you know, it's a light day. We do need a pretty decent amount of money, and the reason being is we need to buy wood and extra iron. I don't want to spend all the time cutting down all the wood, or the trees, I guess. So what I'm going to do is buy like half the wood I need, then cut trees for the other half, just to save a little bit of time. It's only a little bit of money, it's like 1,500 bucks. So I think we'll be okay. But I also need to buy extra iron for the bait maker. I need 15 extra iron that I normally wouldn't use. So we'll have to sell pretty much all our fish. And I think that's it. We'll sell gems, we'll sell any like spinners and things like that. I don't think we'll sell diamonds, but we will sell some of the less valuable gems, like rubies and things like that. And yeah, that's our current plan. We just fish a lot. I mean, this is still the same. We're fishing a lot, and even though we're going for the bait maker route, it means we're just going to fish the same amount, if not more. Once we have the bait maker, I think the plan at the mountain lake is to use largemouth bass up until like 6 or 7, and then after 6 or 7 we use bullhead bait. And it's mostly just to keep from getting a bunch of carp, right? That's the main thing there, but at the river, it's all for catfish. And so, if it rains, which hopefully we have some rainy days, we will use the bait maker for catfish. And hopefully exclusively catch those, you know, with a few chubs or whatever in between, but that'll make us a ton of extra money if we're not catching the shads constantly. Let me look at, I can't remember how much a shad costs or sells for, but it's not very much. So at Angler, let's just use that as a reference. Perfect quality is 180 gold, whereas a catfish, I always forget, is 600 at that same. It will never get him perfect, but I guess that's not technically fair. We'll get him gold quality, so 450. So what, nearly triple the value. So that's where the bait maker is going to come in handy. We did get a Neptune's glaive today, which doesn't matter. We won't use it because we have the trident, and we got a bunch of other junk too. I just didn't show it because I don't think it matters. We will get an additional Neptune's glaive tomorrow, strangely enough. But this wasn't one of the good chests where you get the glaive and a diamond. I feel like that happens a lot, but in this case it didn't, which is kind of unfortunate. One thing we do have to do is we had to kind of leave a little bit early so we could go back down south here and grab copper that we accidentally left, just so we have as much copper as possible. We still have that ancient seed down there too, but I mean, it's okay. We don't need it. Again, it's good to have, but it's not a need. And yeah, that's it for day 4. We're just gonna sell all this stuff. And I don't think we have anything else to do around the farm. We have 20 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. And I guess I could go over some of the general strategy with the run. And the truth is, it's nearly wholly the same as the standard community center run. The only difference is I don't think we're going to do any bundles like you normally would. Like normally you would do some bundles, and I think I went over this yesterday, but you do some bundles to make it cheaper. But in this case, I just don't care that much. I was having difficulty deciding if I wanted to sell rubies and diamonds, which in reality I shouldn't have sold these rubies probably. I needed the money, but rubies are harder to get than diamonds, at least with the way I usually farm, and so whatever. We ended up with a pretty good amount of money and level 8 fishing, which is really nice. But we're at like 16 grand, which is, it's not bad. You know, we're in a good spot. We had a lot of fish that we were able to sell. And now, I mean, we need so much money today, it's crazy. We need 1,500 for the, or not the iron, the wood. We need like 12 grand or something for gold ore. Or 11 maybe, but that's why so right here, I'm cutting up the last couple pieces I need for a chest to take with us to the mines. But then I'm also going to grab my magma geodes, and I'm going to break those strategically to make the most money out of them as I can. So with any geodes I get during the mines, we'll crack those and the magmas to make the most money possible. Because magma is like, yeah, they can sell for a lot, but if you crack them open for 25 gold, chances are you get something that's like 300 or 250 or something. So you make a pretty significant amount of your money back like right away. So we'll utilize that today to make a little bit of extra money. My voice, it's always cracking. Just to make some extra money so we can afford everything we need. This day probably took me like 4 or 5 attempts. No, maybe more than that to get right. Just because so much stuff needs to align, and I kept forgetting stuff or buying too much or too little. But basically you need to get out of here by like 140 in order to make it to Clint's on time and Pierre's on time. But anyway, let me go back to what we need money for. So the gold, the iron, we need money for a backpack, and we need money for kale seeds so we can get to level 2 farming. And then the pickaxe upgrade. So all that added together is somewhere close to like 19,000, I think, or something like that. So we're going to use those magma geodes. Sorry, I got really distracted because for some reason when I record like this, there's like a lot of crackling. I don't know why that is. It'll go away once we're recording back the normal way. But for some reason this software, which I've voiced my anger towards, it just doesn't record very well. It's not a very good quality software. We did get really lucky with this mass of copper. That kind of put us in a spot where this run was the one that actually worked out. Anyway, sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm like trying to watch this, troubleshoot sound settings, and then also like wake up for the day. So anyway, we need lots of money. We're gonna smelt and just hit floor 11 over and over again is basically, you know, what the main plan is. It's a pretty normal day 5. Day 6 will also be pretty normal, I think. You know, this is all normal except for the extra stuff, right? But the mine sequence is pretty normal, I should say. Oh boy, what was I saying? Oh, I don't know, dude. I'm just so tired. I really wish that crackling wasn't happening. It's very distracting. I have no idea what it is. I thought it was my phone, but it's not. It's just crackling. I think it's like my computer has trouble showing video, recording, and playing audio at the same time, which doesn't seem like a really big ask for a computer, but it is, I guess. Or I have a really outdated PC, which is also possible. I have had the same computer for a long time. But I don't know, man. We're just gonna keep mining. This is kind of the more boring part of the run, because it's just everything goes as expected since I reset so many times. And yeah, I don't know, man. We're just cruising along, and I'm hoping, I don't know yet, right? Because I haven't played much in the future, aside from obviously the next day that you'll watch here in a second, but I'm hoping this bait maker actually ends up being worth it. It was a lot of extra work to get it, and a lot of extra like real life time to get it, just to make sure the route was good and I didn't lose too much to make it happen, you know. But I mean, we'll see. I don't think it'll be that worth it when it comes to the mountain fishing. It doesn't really matter if you're catching bullheads or largemouth bass. They're not worth that much. But I mean, it'll make a little difference. Catfish is where we'll see a huge difference. But there's a chance we don't see any rainy days. And then in that case, you know, we're in a lot bigger trouble. But we'll see. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's nice to have that bridge unlocked once we go do that. So, I don't know. Sorry, I'm all over. I don't know why. Just tired. It's a Friday, you know, and we had a really long weekend coming up. So I think I'm kind of not in vacation mode. Well, I guess I am in vacation mode to a certain degree, because I'm off of work until Tuesday. But I have like a lot of gardening to do. And it's supposed to like hail all weekend. Not hail, but like storm with the possibility of hail, right? And that's not the worst thing in the world necessarily, as long as it's not huge hail, but my worry is it will be that huge hail, and I'll have to get a new roof, and I'll have to replant my entire garden. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but at this point it kind of feels like it might. So, whatever. I mean, we're almost done with... I guess I could have cut this out, right? This is the part that's like just me running back and forth. I'm out of gosh, what's the phrase? I don't know. I'm not used to editing stuff. And I'm getting back into the swing of things. I don't know what the phrase is. Out of something. I just can't think of it. My brain is totally fried with other stuff. But yeah, after this... So normally, on the 5th, we would do this, go to Clint's, go to Pierre's, and all that. And then once we're done, we would go back up to the mountain lake to do fishing. But since I've played this file through like 10 times or whatever... Oh, I'm sorry. I got a hiccup. Since I've played this file through so many times, I know that we have bubbles at the beach. So surprisingly, we're going to spend our time fishing at the beach, which I know is not as economical as the lake, but in this case, it makes the most sense, just because there's bubbles, and if there's bubbles, you're in a pretty good spot. Oh, I also take this time right here, and I just eat a ton of parsnips. I think I eat all the parsnips. I know I need the energy anyway, so I kind of figured why not just eat every single parsnip. I need the inventory space, I need the energy, and I won't need these parsnips for anything. So I think that was my logic here. It just seems like a weird thing to do. Like go down in the mines and just pound like 12 parsnips, just raw. But whatever, you know, you do what you do. I'm gonna leave all this junk behind. I don't care about any of it. And I am gonna go to Pierre's first, instead of Clint's like I normally would, just to make my geode process a little bit easier. Oh, and I also need to grab my fishing rod. This has killed my run a couple times because I forget to grab the fishing rod. Like I said, normally I go to the mountain lake to fish, but because of those bubbles, I have to grab the rod, and I also have to buy this wood, so we're really full on bag space. We could have technically bought a little bit more wood, I think. I think I ended up with $300 extra. So we did cut it pretty close. I mean, we were not far off, because most of these numbers are just wild guesses. The copper's, or the iron's not, the gold's not, but the wood was just a wild guess of what we could afford. Man, sorry I coughed. So, you know, it ended up working out. And we get our backpack. And I think we're, generally speaking, we're in a pretty good spot. We need the 16 kale seeds too. I'm glad I didn't forget those. That can really mess your run up. And then we'll go to Clint's and bust open a bunch of geodes. I don't think our trash has anything. Oh, we have a Joja cola, which is actually pretty convenient because we're in a tight time constraint here. That's a really convenient thing to have. The only annoying thing is this is like not the most efficient route, because I go to Clint's, break the geodes, sell everything, and then I have to run back to the farm and then to the beach. And yeah, obviously the geode breaking animation is sped up because it's awful to have to watch all that. It's really annoying, especially in real time, like when you're doing it. See all those geodes, so we're 11.9 right now. And after we sell everything, I mean, we're up to 15.15, which is crazy. That's a ton of money just from cracking open some geodes that normally we would just sell. So I'm pretty glad I did that. And then we got all our gold, and we had money to spare for upgrading the tool, which I guess isn't spare because we need it badly. But also for a couple pieces of coal. And then $7. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I was happy overall with this. And then we'll run back still with the speed from the Joja Cola. And like right here is where I remember I have to go to the farm, which is like I'm probably looking at my notes and remembering that. But yeah, we'll go plant the kale. The reason we bought 16 is because that's how many you need to go to level 2 farming to start getting the sprinklers figured out. It is a little bit risky because technically you can get the rows overnight. And if that happens, you lose one of them and you got problems because you need all 16. So it didn't happen. In this case, it just didn't happen, right? It doesn't matter. And we'll make a scarecrow tomorrow. I'm so bad at watering. Yeah, and after this, I mean, the rest of the evening is just fishing for the most part. Oh, and chopping trees, which I'm going to edit down right now because I don't want to deal with that. It's just a lot of tree chopping. So I'll chop like 1 or 2. But you get the point. Alright, well, I edited that, and I went back and listened to this, and that clipping in the audio, or whatever it is so out of control. I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. So I'm going to have to find a different solution. I don't know what I'm going to do, because it's so bad that I can't even listen to any of it. So I guess... I mean, for now, I'm going to finish this out, but it's so egregious, like it's so awful that, I don't know, I'm not going to put something like that out. It drives me nuts. And I don't know why it is. It's so frustrating because, like, I get it. I guess it's free software, so you can't expect much out of free software, but it's just so awful. And I don't know how people can, like, recommend this. It's crazy to me. So, I will probably edit down this video to be a little bit shorter because I can't stand that sound anymore. It's just driving me nuts. I don't know. Again, maybe it's my computer, but either way, it's unacceptable to have all that popping and all that junk. So I'll put a note on the video, but anyway, here are the bubbles I was talking about previously, and they're here for a very long time, so I overshot them on that first cast, but the remainder of the time we just hang out here, fish on the bubbles. We don't get any very interesting chests here, but you know, this is what we do. And tomorrow we'll just do more fishing, but we'll actually get the bait maker into action and hope it works out. And yeah, now we're at 1:30 a.m. We put an iron in really late to try and get them all done today. And luckily we ended up like being able to actually pull it out of the furnace on time. That was one of the big worries. Like I didn't want to play this day again just because this day is kind of complicated. And so I'm really glad it actually worked out. Because otherwise I wouldn't have had to restart, but I would have lost more time coming down here to get iron before the end of the day. You know what I mean? And that would have been just a little frustrating, so I don't know. And now the audio is not crackling for some reason. I don't know what's going on. What is the deal, man? It's the worst. So anyway, sorry about the crackle. We have another day that we're getting into here. We'll kind of make it shorter. We have to cut more wood for the scarecrow. So that's what we do first thing off the bat. And then we'll throw a scarecrow down and water. And we'll spend the majority of the day fishing once again. So that's the deal. You'll see me do that and we'll kind of cut ahead to the fishing fun. I do really like this song though. That's the only thing that's keeping me sane at the moment is the music. It's the one thing I like about recording this way is I get to listen to the music instead of silence when I normally play. And that is a nice little thing. So yeah, we're just fishing now. We don't have any bait being made at the moment, but as soon as we catch a largemouth bass, we can get one put in the machine, kind of see what numbers we end up with. And there's one there. I didn't know how this machine even worked. I'd never used it before. Like I didn't realize it made bait that fast. And it only gives you like, was it 8 to 10 or something like that, or 5 to 10? So that's okay. It's just a little inconvenient to have to put a fish in there every 8 casts. But, you know, it's not a huge deal. There's always something little to complain about, I guess. That's what we're doing, just fishing up a storm. We fast forwarded there. I guess you couldn't really tell because the day changed. But I almost lost this fish and this chest for some reason. I just was not doing a very good job. I was really close to losing it. And that would have been a huge bummer because this is one of the more exciting chests to get, I guess. Because well, you'll see in a second here. But I already spoiled it yesterday, so it would have been really sad to lose a Neptune's glaive and a diamond. I guess you don't know what you don't know, so if you lose it, it's not a huge deal, but it would have felt maybe a little bit bad. And then yeah, we'll just keep fishing the rest of the night. We'll fish until like 1 a.m. or whatever, 12:30 or something. And then we have to go back and sell enough so that we can upgrade our pickaxe one more time tomorrow to iron, I guess. But you know, the day was uneventful. It was fishing. It was smelting and it was making bait. We did get a decent amount of bait, as you can see. Or not bait, but fish. Getting that many largemouth and that many bullhead is pretty nice. And it really makes things a little bit smoother. No inventory clogged up with carp and random chubs. Even though like the chubs technically I want because I do need them. I need food for the mines later on. And we have 14 that are left over from our first day at the lake, which isn't bad. I think normally we have like 60 of them, but as long as we have enough money, I don't think it'll really matter. So yeah, we'll just head home. We'll sell this stuff and we'll sell as many fish as we can to get 5,000 gold so that we can make those upgrades tomorrow. And then tomorrow we'll just fish more. So I'll probably chop that up, assuming I can figure out this recording thing. If I can't, I'll just have to record and talk at the same time. And that just may be what happens. I'm fine with that. I just, it's a little harder when you're cutting stuff up. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to like be mid-sentence and cut something out or whatever. So yeah, I'll be on it again. We'll see, maybe our audio troubles are solved. I don't know, I listened again, and it seems like it's working fine now, and I don't know what changed. I didn't do anything. I don't know, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, we're just gonna manage our inventory. We just decided to sell all the largemouth bass, and then whatever random ocean fish we had, and kind of hoped for the best. That was the conclusion I ended up with. Because, I mean, really, if we don't have enough money, like I have emeralds and stuff to sell. Like there was no, I don't know, I didn't want to do math, and that was going to be the safest bet, basically, without doing math. And oh, we didn't even sell all of the ocean fish, did we? Or are we going to sell more? I don't know. I never remember what I do. We just have so much stuff in our inventory. But no, there we go. We went to sleep. We actually hit 3 foraging, which is crazy, just because we've been chopping so many trees. And then level 9 fishing is really big. And yeah, we're just over 5 grand, so we are in a good spot. And we're all set. So I will see you next time, hopefully without audio issues.